Today, we'll explore the neuroscience of dopamine, a fascinating neurotransmitter with many crucial functions in our brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger that transmits signals between neurons in the brain. When we engage in pleasurable activities, dopamine is released in specific brain areas, creating feelings of pleasure and reinforcing these behaviors. Particularly important is the mesolimbic pathway, often called the reward pathway. This pathway connects the ventral tegmental area to the nucleus accumbens and prefrontal cortex, regions critical for processing reward. Dopamine doesn't just create pleasure, it's primarily involved in motivation, learning, and the anticipation of rewards. It drives us to pursue rewards, helps us learn which actions lead to positive outcomes, and creates excitement when we anticipate something rewarding. This dopamine system evolved to encourage survival behaviors like finding food, seeking shelter, and reproduction. Throughout evolution, dopamine has reinforced behaviors essential for survival and reproduction. In addiction, this natural process becomes hijacked. The brain's dopamine receptors and production mechanisms adapt to repeated substance exposure. With repeated exposure, dopamine receptors become less sensitive, and the brain produces less dopamine naturally. This adaptation requires increasingly more stimulation to achieve the same reward feeling, setting the stage for addiction. Addictive substances and behaviors cause an unnaturally large surge of dopamine. This surge is often 2 to 10 times the amount released by natural rewards. In normal reward processing, dopamine is released in moderate amounts, but addictive substances flood the brain with excessive dopamine, overwhelming the system. With repeated exposure, the brain adapts by reducing dopamine receptors and production. This process is called downregulation, where the brain tries to restore balance by reducing the number of receptors. This creates a vicious cycle where more of the substance is needed to feel pleasure, while natural rewards become less satisfying. The cycle begins with substance use, which leads to tolerance. This pushes the user to increase consumption, making natural rewards less satisfying. This condition is called anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure from normally pleasurable activities. Additionally, environmental cues associated with the addiction trigger dopamine release and intense cravings. When exposed to triggers like locations, people, or situations associated with the addiction, the brain releases dopamine, creating powerful cravings. This explains why addiction is considered a brain disorder rather than simply a lack of willpower. The outdated view focuses solely on willpower, but modern neuroscience has revealed the profound brain changes that drive addiction. Recovery involves allowing the brain's dopamine system to gradually heal and reset. As recovery progresses, dopamine receptors slowly increase and the brain's chemistry gradually normalizes. Though some changes may persist long-term, contributing to the chronic, relapsing nature of addiction.